Lovely one from Prince Nico. Sweet mother.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Sweet mother, I never forget you for the suffer way you suffer for me. Yeah. Sweet mother, I never forget you for the suffer way you suffer for me. Yeah. When I dey cry, my
Joy
mother go
99.7
carry me.
FM.
She say, my pikin, wait till you dey cry, yo yo. Stop. Stop. Make you no cry again, no.
Joy 99.7 FM.
When I won't sleep, my mother go bless me. Oh, she go lie me well for bed. Oh, she come out me clothes, say make do sleep. My pikin no. When I dey hungry, my mother go run up down. She dey find me something when I go chop. Oh, sweet mother, sweet mother. Oh. Yeah, sweet mother, I never forget. Never, mama. For the suffer way you suffer for me. Sweet mother, I never forget.
Never, mama.
The suffer way you suffer for me. Yeah.
If you haven't spoken to your mother, give her a call. Yeah, we're on duty. We'll do that immediately after. A sweet mother in the studio with me, Dr. Na Ashele Dodo, CEO, consultant, chiropractor, Nova Wellness. And I can see her lovely daughters in the studio. Oh my goodness. And you should see them in their outfits with masks to match. Oh my goodness.
Sweet mother, I never forget.
Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Nortey by nature. On this special, extra special Mother's Day, May 9th, 2021.
Oh yeah.
A friend of mine would say, no doubt about it.
Go carry me. She go say my
You
big
can't go wrong with your moms.
cry.
Some of them are actually known as the Minister for Interior.
Stop. Make you no cry again, no.
Yeah, they can give you a knock and 2 weeks after you comb your hair, you can feel it. As you can tell, I'm in the mood. That's what we do on Joy 99.7 FM. Can't get it anywhere else. Every Sunday, 2:05, we're live.
The OPK classic.
All the precise, up-to-date, unassailable health information you can get. And last week, we had another sweet mother in the studio. Some of you were calling her Dr. Na, Miss Na, Auntie Na. Well, she's here again. And we're looking at managing workplace ergonomics and posture to enhance productivity and wellness. And I know today we'll go through the tips. Also, I'm sure there are tips for mothers who are expecting and still working. How should they sit? Will you change the workplace ergonomics for a pregnant mother? Eh, that's what we're talking about. If you have any experiences, concerns, should I say, questions, we're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Auntie Na, Miss Na, Dr. Na, you're welcome.
Thank you, Nortey.
Great to see you.
Thank you, thank you.
Looking lovely as mothers always do. And you got your lovely
Yes.
daughters in tow. What are the names?
Michelle and Maya.
Michelle and Maya. Hi, how are you? They are fine. Oh my goodness. So who responded? Michelle?
Yes.
Michelle
is the
responded. She's
older
the older one. How old are they?
6 and 4.
6 and 4, and they are in tow as mommy does her work on a Sunday. Mommy, thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
Earlier in the week, we had Daddy in the studio, right? Oh, that's not your dad.
Yes.
Oh, the former regional
Yes.
minister, right? Is your daddy.
Yes.
So you kind of had a daddy, and now it's mommy's day and all that. So yeah, many of you don't know, right? I intentionally slipped that in there accidentally on purpose. Yes. Her dad is it Niyama? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, right. But he was in the studio, and she's in the studio doing her stuff as she knows how to do best, right? So we went into the area of workplace ergonomics, managing our posture, and last week we were pushed by our discerning listeners into the area of an open clinic, all sorts of low back problems and challenges and so on and so forth. But we did have a programmed, range, or should I say a spectrum of tips that we wanted to give, particularly workers, coming on the heels of Workers' Day. So what are the quick highlights you want to drop from last week? I know we learned that it's best to sleep on your back. And indeed, if you don't do that, you may be causing some problems for yourself, right?
Right.
If
that's
you change that, then you gave us some alternative posture which might work. So let's go back over some of the
Okay.
highlights from last week.
So last week we talked about sleeping on your back, which is the best sleeping posture, and then put in pillows under your knees if you have back pain.
Right.
Some people find that very difficult. So in the absence of that, you can sleep on your side, but you need to alternate
Okay.
from left to right side.
Okay.
If you're a side sleeper.
So you change positions during the
Yes,
night.
Yes. So
Won't that affect your sleep?
it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. Just switching from one side to the other shouldn't. If you're really asleep and you're having a good deep night's sleep, just
Right.
changing from one side to the other should not wake
It's
you
normal.
up.
Okay.
Mhm,
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we also talked about posture being the way you hold your body so you resist gravity.
Right. That's a
Apart
good one.
from sleeping, we talked about sitting posture. We talked about being active, taking frequent breaks in between the day,
Okay.
so that you protect your spine.
Right.
And then we also talked about the importance of ergonomics.
Right.
Why keeping your workstation safe and healthy is important, so that you can be productive for a long period.
Okay.
Because if you're working for 25 to 30 years, your activities or the things you're doing within that period is very, very important, so that it doesn't make you sick.
Okay. And one of the key things we underscored also was the fact that your employer is obliged in many places, and I think even in Ghana, by law, to provide an ergonomically sound workplace that
That
does
is
not
correct.
impact negatively on your health.
That's correct. At least to provide the structure, at least good furniture. That's your table, your chair, whether it's cabinets. If you're working overhead,
Right.
then you need a good ladder, and so that you don't have to stand on chairs to reach a certain height.
Okay.
Which you'll be amazed to find that people have to pick things from top of shelves and don't even have a simple ladder
On a regular basis?
on a regular
Right.
basis. So they
Okay.
find themselves standing on tables or chairs or things that are not safe. And if somebody breaks a leg, you as the employer, technically you should be liable.
You're liable,
Yes, but implementation in our side of the world is a problem. So
Okay.
a lot of employers get away with some of these things.
Okay. Before somebody trips and falls or has a workplace injury, you led us to understand that progressively and cumulatively over time there's injury taking place if these things are not considered?
Especially we call them the micro injuries. So
Okay.
micro injury could, for instance, be as simple as not having a smooth edge, like your table that you're using. People are moving in and out. So if a bit of the surface peels off and leaves a sharp edge, and continuously, for instance, people are, brushing their arm and
Okay.
getting cuts or getting injuries, for instance, those are micro injuries. It's not like having a huge fall.
Right.
However, over time, that can lead to infections, for instance, in that example that I gave you,
Okay.
or skin abrasions, and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
it's very important that not only are we looking out for huge falls or injuries, but the small things. For instance, having a chair that is broken, it may still be a chair so you can sit in it, but it's possible that the protective or the seat, the hinge there may be broken. So even though you can sit in it, for instance, when you move your back, the chair also goes all the way back with you. I've
Right.
seen those things, and people just get used to it and don't change that chair.
Right.
And so over a long period of time, you be hitting your back.
Okay,
Yes.
great stuff. And the last thing I want us to hit on hard and emphasize is the fact that despite that non-negotiable obligation and duty of your employer to provide all these safe, nice, jazzy stuff, you, the employer, are also under obligation to use them appropriately.
That's the employee.
Sorry, the employee, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you, the employee, you also have a responsibility, because your employer could give you the highest of all the furniture you could possibly have, the highest range.
Okay.
But if you don't sit properly, for instance, then having an expensive chair becomes useless. If you don't still turn your body around well when you're picking stuff, if you're still, bending improperly to pick stuff from the floor, then having all the best furniture in the world doesn't help. So
Okay.
you as the employee still have a responsibility to make sure that you're using those things appropriately.
Okay, so maximizing and optimizing ergonomics is a dual or shared challenge and responsibility of the employer and the employee. All right, great. All right, if you just joined us, it's 19 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nortey by nature. I'm in the studio with a mother, a chiropractor, a CEO, a wellness consultant, Dr. Na Asheli Dodo. She's the CEO of the Nova Wellness Center. We've been looking at the issues along that whole spectrum of ergonomics, right? That whole relationship between man, tools, machines, workspace, and all that. And we're considering how we can improve our posture and manage ergonomics to enhance performance and wellness. If you have any questions, concerns from last week or from today, share them with us on WhatsApp 055 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Shortly, I will activate those phone lines so you can join in the action. Right, so we didn't get to talk quickly, if that is possible, about a workplace checklist. Is there a checklist that we can give out, quick
Sure.
things that an employer and indeed employees can run through and consider to give their workplace and their workspaces a ranking or a rating?
Sure. Yes, we can do that. And especially now that we talked about working from home a little bit last week. So people are working more from home these days. Some
Okay.
people have a hybrid. So it's like 1 week on, 1 week off.
Right.
So we're going to give a few tips so that if you're one of those, you may have a good workstation in your office, but if you're setting up a new office at home, these are some simple things that you could also look at to make your workstation effective. So you can have what we call a sit-stand capable desk.
Right.
So a sit-stand capable desk is a table that can be adjusted so that you can lower the table and sit, and do your work, or you can elevate the table so that it's higher, and then you stand up and then you do your work.
Okay.
So sit stand capable desk. You bring it down, you sit for maybe 45 minutes, and then you can adjust it upwards,
Right.
and then you can stand up and continue to do your work.
Is that for every workstation?
So this will be more for those who are working at a desk, or what we call the desktop workers.
Right.
So for that particular group of people, if you're sitting for long hours, we're talking about like IT people, a lot of high computer usage
Right.
workers.
Okay.
Yes, a sit stand capable desk will really help you to avoid you for sitting in poor posture for longer hours.
Okay.
So you can adjust those that particular table so that and it keeps you mobile.
Okay.
Remember last week we also talked about not sitting for too long or not standing for too long. So if you have this table that can switch, then you're able to change your posture as the day goes on.
Okay. Let me. Can I label or flag that as the ideal?
That is the highest.
Right. So can
Yes.
we have a step down in the absence of a
Sure.
sit-stand table or work?
Sure.
top.
So in the absence of that, you can also use what I highly recommend. We call it a laptop elevator. So if you have a laptop elevator, then it's just a piece of equipment. Some of them are even collapsible, so you can put it in your purse and you can move around with it.
Okay.
So you have that laptop elevator, you put your laptop on it, and it brings it up so
Oh.
that the top part of your monitor should be about your eye level. That way it forces
Anytime you're
you-
looking at any screen, the top part of that screen or
the
monitor.
top part of the screen or the monitor should be about eye level, or even maybe a little higher than your eyes.
Right.
And that prevents you from looking down,
Okay.
which causes a lot of neck and upper back pain. So
Okay.
once you elevate it, then it forces you to sit up straight. Now, if you're using a desktop also, or if you want to get a desktop, you can look out for the ones that have an adjustable knob at the back.
Okay.
Not all of them do, but some of them do. That
right.
way,
A desktop monitor that has adjustments at
yes,
the back of
at
the
the
monitor
back, at
or
the
the screen.
back of the
right.
monitor. Yes, when you look at it, you see that there's a knob where you can adjust
The
how
angle
high
and the height.
yes
Right.
the monitor would be. So
Okay.
you want to look out for those. So if you don't have a sit stand capable desk, that's fine. You can still get a simple laptop elevator, or sometimes you can even get a book or something that has some height,
Right.
and then just put it
Elevate
under
your laptop.
and it will come right up. It would really enhance your posture
All right.
so that you're sitting upright as opposed to bending down.
Okie dokie. I'm tempted to apply or try to see how universal this is for those who are doing check, Indomie, Chibum, and selling by the roadside. Your workstation should have certain configurations. The height at which you are working at for long periods is something you need to consider.
Absolutely.
Right. So
absolutely.
that's the important lesson.
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that as much as possible, you are not raising your arm above your shoulder level too much. So
Okay.
if, for instance, your table is too high, then you end up pulling your arms up. So you've gone out of what we call anatomical position.
Okay.
So you're doing this all day long. Hairdressers, for instance, may be doing that. So you want to make sure that as much as possible, your arms remain neutral. So even if you are not typing on a computer, let's say you are a hairdresser, you can have a little bit of a footstool so that if the client you're working on is a bit taller, you step onto the footstool and then you can continue doing your work without straining your upper back or your shoulders. So if you're washing at home, for instance, maybe you're not working in the office, but you're washing at home, we have a really bad habit of bending, literally
Right.
bending at the waist and staying there and washing for hours on end. What I recommend is get a table which is high enough, and then you can stand, put your bowls on that higher level and then wash, as opposed to bending your waist or sitting on those very low stools, which are also not ergonomically safe because you sit on those low stools and then your thigh to your hip is slanted like that because your legs are too long.
Right.
So if you have to wash that way, you get a table which is high enough, you put your bowls on it, and then you can stand and move around and do your washing.
Okay, great stuff. It's 27 minutes past the hour, 2 on Joy 99.7 FM, Mother's Day edition of Ultimate Health. We're still getting it done, still in business, but still having fun and growing and transforming ourselves. With the help of Dr. Nasheli Dodo of the Nova Wellness Center. As you may recall, Ultimate Health is now brought to you by Royal Aroma Rice. Now, we all know we need a variety of nutrients in our diets to lead a healthy life. Children, for example, need them for proper growth and development, and adults need them to function properly and carry on their daily tasks. It's, however, not always possible to have a completely balanced diet, and that is when fortified foods can help, especially foods that we all love and like rice. So, your popular brand, Royal Aroma, has introduced the first fortified rice in Ghana, the Royal Aroma Fortified Rice. The new Royal Aroma Fortified Rice has the same great taste and sweet aroma, but it is now powered with added nutrients, iron, zinc, vitamin B1, B6, B9, and B12. Every serving, every helping of Royal Aroma Fortified Rice gives you at least 15% of your daily requirements of these nutrients. So with this, you can enjoy the great tastes and also be assured that you're getting additional nutrients in every meal. Royal Aroma Rice, they now bring you Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM this and every Sunday. If you have any questions, concerns, WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. I'll go into that box and look and read out some of your questions and concerns to Dr. Na, Miss Na, on the program, and we'll get back to business. So we've looked at the table, the height, the elevation, and of course, using that eye level marker. Anything else we can look out for in the workplace?
Sure. So there's something we call active sitting.
Active sitting.
Yes. So instead of just sitting, a lot of the times when people hear of sedentary lifestyle, they're thinking of people who are sitting on their couch and just sleeping all day. But now research is showing that there are people who are living that same sedentary lifestyle but at work.
Okay.
So these are those who are sitting from 8 to 5, maybe a short lunch break in between, and then they're right back and sitting.
Okay.
So we call something active sitting. Instead of sitting in a chair, you can take breaks and sit on an exercise ball, for instance.
Okay.
A simple exercise ball. Now, because the surface of the ball is round, you can't just slump your body on it.
Right.
But you need to hold your muscles so you
Actively
don't
hold your muscles.
Yes, you don't fall off the ball. So in doing that, you're working out your muscles. You're working out your core muscles. So
Okay.
that's active sitting. And you can just replace the exercise ball with your office chair.
Right.
And then you continue doing your work, you continue typing, you continue watching or doing whatever you're doing on your screen. And even at home or wherever you are, you can go in between sitting on your regular chair and sitting in an exercise ball,
Okay.
and that helps to activate your body's muscles.
Right. Are these available and are they cheap? Can a workplace just say, we have a couple of these balls, once in a while, take a sit, perch on them and then do what Dr. Na is saying?
Absolutely, they are readily available. If
Really?
you go to the sports shops, all of them would sell some of these exercise balls, and they're very, very affordable.
Okay.
I don't want to quote any price, but they are affordable.
Okay.
Yes. So a company can have some in different departments. Maybe I don't depend on how big your department is. You may
Right.
have 5, 10, and people can just grab them every now and then and sit on it so
Right.
that you are more active than sedentary.
Sounds good. In our part of the world, like other parts of the world, there are big people, there are small people, and so on and so forth. So I'll ask about body type and this posture thing, right? Because if you are, let me just say, well endowed,
Okay.
behind and maybe in front, and how does that affect your posture? Some people have a lot of cleavage. Let me use that term, right? And they tend to hunch forward. especially if they're not wearing the right type of support or brassiere, right? Some have a lot of backside, right? And it may, in my thinking, as a layperson, right, when it comes to posture, how does that influence posture?
It influences posture heavily, for both men and women. I'm sure you're talking about women more when you
Okay,
look
men
at
to have the poly
the
tank.
men.
Thank you. Oh, all right, not poly tank.
Poly tank, is
All
that
right.
what you call it?
All right.
Okay.
Pot belly.
So yes, so the men also have the pot bellies, and yes, it does put a strain on the spine. If you look at a woman who is heavily endowed with extra breast tissue,
Right.
it does tend to sag your shoulders downwards because it's naturally you're doing this to kind of help reduce the stress. And so over time I have lots of patients who would fit in this category. They have a lot of breast tissue and they develop back pain
Okay.
and neck pain. And so one of the things we look at for that group of people is to really work on their posture.
Right.
And work on strengthening the back muscles. If your back muscles are stronger and you're able to train yourself to hold that upright posture, then over time you're able to retrain your muscles to be able to hold that breast tissue up,
Okay.
as opposed to having the breast tissue pulling you downwards.
So you shouldn't take it for granted that, look, I'm heavy up there, right? Or I have a lot of, I like to use your words, right? It makes me sound professional. I have a lot of breast tissue, right? I shouldn't just accept that this is the way I sit, this is the way I hold my body. You're saying I have to learn to do it differently and build muscle strength.
Yes, so you need to fix the posture first of all, and you do that by strengthening your back muscles. Apart from the chiropractic adjustments we do to make sure the spine is properly aligned, there are specific exercises you can do so that your back muscles are stronger.
Wow.
You know, there are so many different exercises, just as you can do your biceps and you can have what they call the guns. In the same way, you can really exercise your back muscles so that they are very strong, and then you're able to carry any weight,
All right.
i.e. even the breast tissue. So
Right.
yes, you shouldn't say, oh, you know, my breasts are big, and so every time you sit, you just let go, and then everybody says, oh, that's the way her back is because she has no.
Okay.
You shouldn't accept that.
Right.
There are things you can do so that your back is able to support the extra breast tissue. So yes,
Okay.
and same with if you have large hips or if you have a large backside, you definitely want to work on your pelvic muscles. Make sure your glute muscles are strong. It's a lot of muscle weakness that tends to cause back pain, joint pain. So if you're able to do the right exercises, yes, it's very possible to be able to manage your body shape or size and whatever symptoms
So
you are
essentially,
going through.
you should be in charge of your body and your posture.
Absolutely, you are fully.
Your posture should not just evolve.
No.
You should be in charge of it.
You should, and you know, your brain has the ability to change things. So you shouldn't just accept that, oh, that's the way everybody in my family is. Everybody in my family has very large backside. Everybody in my family has big boobs, and that's how we all are. No, you can change things. Your brain has a lot of power to be able to strengthen you to take care of all these problems.
Great stuff. Let me go into my WhatsApp box whilst we go through the tips here in the studio. This one says, good afternoon. What's the message now? It just says good afternoon. Okay, I guess you're still thinking about what you want to share. Let me go back quickly. Right. This is from Dede in Maryland. Hi, Dede. It says, oh, why is this slow now today? Right. It says, heard people are improvising with books, boxes, kitchen stools, etc. for elevation. All right. This is from Dede. Okay. Right. I guess that's in line with what we were talking about earlier. This one said, good afternoon, Nortey and Miss Na. I like that. I had a chest x-ray done during a routine checkup recently. My GP noticed that I had hiatal hernia, right? I was surprised, but I can only attribute it to the time I worked in a factory during the holidays as a graduate student in the States. I had to lift heavy things above my head during my shifts on a regular basis. I am fine, but what should be my posture at work? Can it be corrected? This is from Issy. went and did some small galamsey in the in the US, and carried things probably she didn't carry or wouldn't carry in Ghana.
Right.
There was a diagnosis. Can you share a bit on that?
The hiatal hernia.
Right.
So, anything that is herniated is a push of some tissue out of its normal area. So instead of just staying within the chest, for instance, it may be going a little bit outwards below the diaphragm into the abdominal area. That's what a hiatal hernia is. So
Okay.
yes, again, there are exercises and things that you can do. There are posture things that routines or posture exercises you can do to strengthen your chest, to strengthen your abdominal area, which can help reduce the symptoms of the hiatal hernia.
Okay, great stuff. Okay, there's a delayed scroll on my screen. Apologies, let me quickly do that and come back to this. Okay, this one says, oops. Abeku, my screen is delaying. Right. Okay. Is it advisable to sleep on your left side? This is from Bugwila in West Hills Mall area. Right. Is it advisable to sleep on your left side?
So long as you haven't been diagnosed with any underlying issues, you can sleep on either side,
Okay.
whether left or right. I know that for pregnant women, the doctors usually advise that they sleep on the left side so that it helps with the circulation of blood, because pregnant women tend to have swollen feet and things like that. It's recommended that when they sleep on their left, it helps to drain the fluid. But really, people shouldn't be too hung on it. So long as you haven't been diagnosed with any particular underlying issue, you should switch
Okay.
left to right. But sleeping on only one side can also bring up other back pain or other issues. So it's very important to switch from left to right.
All right, 38 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. The program, as always, Ultimate Health, your ultimate guide to healthy living. With me, Nortey by nature. I'm in the studio with Dr. Na Ashele Dodo of the Nova Wellness Center. We're going through the paces when it comes to ergonomics and posture, particularly or specifically related to the workplace. But we've gone beyond that to look at ergonomics and posture generally as well. If you have any concerns, experiences, and questions, WhatsApp is 055 11 997. And shortly I will activate the phone lines and you can get to talk to me. I've got this one. It says, good afternoon, I need help. My son always opens his mouth, and when I tell him to close it, he will close it, but the next minute it is open again. Please help me. We had a young guy in our area back in the day. Because he wouldn't close his mouth and was always talking, people nicknamed him Farisco, because Farisco was always open. So they said. But is this something in your... this looks like a habit.
Mean, there are a lot of things that could be causing this. There may be dental issues. There may be jaw problems. So I'll say that the child needs to be evaluated,
Right.
maybe by their GP first, and then or pediatrician. I don't know how old
Yeah.
he is, but a general evaluation for this specific problem has to be done so that further steps can be taken.
Okay. So let him see a doctor, a physician, and then they'll take the steps there. If they need a specialist referral, then that can be done. It could be habitual as well, right?
so many
You just
different
lose
things.
attention and self-awareness, and then these things start to happen. 40 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. We're going through some of the tips. We've had some with regard to your posture, your workstation, a few with regard to sleep. I'm told the child is 9 years old. Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okie dokie. Somebody is typing. I am clicking. And my screen is delaying. Okay, this is frustrating. Norte, I have GERD. GERD is it gastro something?
So gastrointestinal
Reflux disorder,
Yes,
that's right.
reflux
So I'm only
disorder.
able to sleep on my left side. Anytime I sleep on my right side for even 10 minutes, I experience acid reflux. Sleeping on my back too doesn't help.
Okay.
Is that a cause for worry?
Yes, so that's why I had said earlier on that unless you've been diagnosed with something like GERD. So what I'll recommend, what I have found, a lot of people have gotten relief with symptoms of reflux, is to sleep on a slanted pillow.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe it, but the tip of the pillow slopes down.
Right.
That way, your head is slightly higher
Okay.
than the rest of the body. So
Okay.
it becomes difficult for things to move upwards.
All right.
Which is what is happening when you have reflux.
Okay.
So she can try getting, maybe she can just get in touch with me and I'll describe to her what type of pillow she can get.
Okay.
With that one, it really helps with reducing the reflux symptoms
Okay.
whilst they're sleeping.
All right, great
Yes.
stuff. 42 minutes past the hour of 2. Let me take a message from my sponsors, Royal Aroma Rice. Now they have the Royal Aroma Fortified Rice with all the added nutrients. Great taste, great nutrition. Stick and stay. I'll be back and I will activate the phone lines as well.
Mommy, today I'm upset.
With me?
I love you, Mommy, but it's my rice. It looks and tastes the same. There's no difference.
Let me tell you the difference, dear. Royal Aroma has introduced fortified rice that contains iron, zinc, vitamin B3, B6, B9, and B12. Which means the new Royal Aroma Fortified Rice may look and taste the same, but it has added essential nutrients.
And that's the difference.
Mo, show me high five. Naturally fragrant grains, great taste, and added nutrients. New Royal Aroma Fortified Rice. Ayemawo aniwo busia. This advert is FDA approved.
The cousin that hogs all the food. The relative who's always late. The brother who's always on the phone.
Hello, let me call you right back.
The niece who's allergic to.
Welcome back. Commercials. Yes, Royal Aroma Fortified Rice. They bring you ultimate health. I think I must have strayed into another commercial, but that's all good. Phone lines are activated 0302 216 541. We're talking about posture to enhance performance and wellness at work. My guest in the studio, Dr. Nashele Dodo of the Nova Wellness Center. Somebody wants to know how to get in touch with you. I guess by telephone, not physically, or both. Now, how do they get in touch with you?
So we're at Nova Wellness Center. That's around Ringway Estates, very close to Country Kitchen. But you can also reach us at Nova Wellness Center on Facebook and also on Instagram. And I can get her number as well.
All right.
And then we'll definitely give her some help.
Okay, we'll patch you through. Last week, we forgot to emphasize or mention that you do a lot of your work now in the virtual space, right? Which has its own ergonomics. But
Yes.
you're doing a lot of education and Zoom and other things. Can you share a bit on that? And how do people join you?
Sure. So even with ergonomic assessments, before I would go into offices
Yeah.
and then look at their chairs and their tables and then advise. But now we do that virtually. So we're able to take pictures of people's workstation and then advise them on things that they can change. And then we also provide workshops virtually, like you said. We do talks on Zoom, and we're able to provide advice and help people with some of these tips like
Okay.
we're talking about, depending on what is happening in their particular office space.
Okay.
Yes, we're able to do all these trainings virtually as well.
Right.
Yes. So if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Nova Wellness Center, you'll be updated with everything that is happening as far as those webinars are concerned.
Right. On both Instagram and Facebook, it's
yes.
Nova
Wellness Center.
Nova Wellness Center. Okay,
Yes.
great. Now, you know that whilst we're going through these tips, one thing, and the phone line is activated 0302 216 541. There are, those, we're all different. So if you are exceptionally big, tall, and so on and so forth, is an employer obliged to meet these requirements of yours? I mean, I know there are some people whose legs just don't go under even the average table, right? And so whatever is provided by the employer may place challenges or may lead to complications and challenges.
Right.
Is the employer obliged to meet everybody's needs
What
ergonomically?
what should typically happen is that once somebody is employed, if the company has a certified ergonomist in-house, then that person is taken through a slew of tests or screenings
Okay.
to be able to figure out what type of chair would be good for them, what type of table, and things like that before you even purchase furniture or
Okay.
things that they would need. But unfortunately, a lot of the times, employees get into the workspace and they have to make do with whatever is there.
Okay.
But technically, once somebody is brought on board, then there should be a process to check how tall they are, how big they are,
Right.
what they can do and what they cannot do, and be able to give an office space that will fit them
Okay.
so that they can do their work effectively.
All right. Okie dokie. And of course, if you have special needs or special challenges,
All those things should
you
be
should
taken-
notify
right.
your employer, or
Right.
would that go to HR?
So it could go to HR, or if there is an ergonomist, then the ergonomist would take note of all those things and report it to HR or procurement or whoever who would take charge of purchasing the stuff.
Okay. Nortey, good afternoon and happy Mother's Day to your resource person. I am Na AD. Please, I want to suggest that offices must situate washrooms at close proximity to encourage urination. At 59, I have been diagnosed with kidney stones, and I realized that it is because washrooms in my office are far away. I don't go there as often I should, as is required to empty my bladder. Now, could this be related in determining? I know issues about the number of washrooms and then the accessibility and all that,
Yes.
but their proximity, could that be
So
also?
I would actually use this opportunity to move around more in my office
Right.
if the washroom is a bit far. So it gives you a chance to be more mobile, and that is what we are advising people to do. For instance, if your office has elevators and a stairway, we recommend that you use
Use
your
the stairs, right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if your washroom is far off, I think that it may be uncomfortable. But if you think about the fact that you're giving your heart some exercise, you're improving your circulation, then walking to the washroom a couple of times a day
Right.
actually helps
Okay.
and keeps you mobile while you're working.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it.
Yes.
It's a challenge, but also an opportunity. That's
Right.
what Dr. Na actually is saying. Happy Mother's Day to Dr. Na. That's power of a mother, who I ask to return today on the show. Please, talking of chairs, some companies buy the more expensive chairs for employees, and now that a lot of work is done from home, the chair has not been given to them. What advice should she be given? I do have back pain on and off. I might say this is from Douglas in DC. So he's working from home, or there are people working from home, and they don't have the benefit of these ergonomic chairs
Yep.
at home. What's your advice?
So what I would recommend is using your dining table chair as much as possible. It's definitely better than sitting on your couch or sitting on your bed or sitting on the floor. You definitely want to make sure that you have a chair that is keeping you upright, and a lot of dining table chairs tend to do that. You can put pillows in the back to again encourage you to sit up straight. You can
Straight.
even sit on the pillow as well. So you can put one pillow down, sit on it. You can put another one on your back, and that really helps to give that support.
Right.
Like I said, you can have the best chair, but if you still don't sit well,
Right.
that chair is useless.
Okay.
So if you don't have an ergonomic chair in your office, an ergonomic chair at home like you do in your office, all hope is not lost. Just avoid using your bed or your couch, and if you have a simple dining table chair, you can use that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, great, great. The issue of the toilet has brought me to something. The toilet is a workstation.
Okay.
I insist. You are working when you are in the loo, right? I've seen all sorts of funny, interesting, and well-researched, should I say, pieces which suggest that when you are sitting on the WC, you should not have your feet flat on the ground, and that is not our normal posture, right? For downloading our Hotmail, right? How should we sit on the WC? I know well, I'm linking it to workplace. Is there any prescribed posture? Because that is where people read, download stuff on their phone and all stuff, and the postures are a bit weird.
So what I'll say is, still keep your mind on keeping the spine straight or upright whilst you're sitting on the WC.
Okay.
And then the other thing you want to do is to have a small stool where once you sit, you can put your feet on the stool. I know, like you said, a lot of people like to read and do some other activities when they're sitting on the WC.
They're working.
So, working. So, once you have that stool and you put your feet on it, it also helps with the circulation.
All right.
And it helps to take pressure off the lower back.
Okay.
As opposed to when you put your feet flat on the WC.
So there is a basis for that.
Yes. So once you elevate your feet, then you kind of open up your pelvic lower back area, and so you are more comfortable. And I've seen research where it shows that it actually, the position of your feet being upright helps kind of open up the large intestines
To push.
to
Right.
to aid the push of your stuff to come out
Wow.
and go into the toilet. Yes.
Okay. I read something which suggested that we are actually designed to squat. So when we sit on the
Exactly.
WC, which is a later invention, we
Exactly.
should, as much as possible, try to maintain those postures, and elevating the feet allows us to get that posture as well.
Exactly. So when you do that, then it's almost as if you're squatting.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, that's correct.
This is not an endorsement for those of you doing free range at the Inshona, right? Okie dokie. Any other quick workplace things that?
Sure. So
Yeah?
I would recommend that for people who are doing a lot of multitasking, you're typing, maybe you're a receptionist, you're also answering phones, then it becomes important to have a headset.
Okay.
Because otherwise you find people bending like that, writing, typing, doing all sorts of weird things with
Right.
their heads. So if you're a receptionist or you're answering a lot of phone calls whilst you're using a desktop or a laptop, then it becomes important to have what we call a headset.
headset.
So you keep your headset on, and that way you can still continue doing other things.
So without that, you will distort your posture.
Absolutely, because again, if this is your work and you are doing this 8-10 hours a day and you're constantly turning, bending your head in weird postures, it's going to cause
Alright.
headaches, it's going to cause neck pain, and so on and so forth.
So those of us who are almost, should I say, constantly having a Bluetooth pieces in our ears and need all these hands-frees, we're doing the right thing?
I think it's better. It's
Okay.
definitely better. Again, if your work entails a lot of phone activity, where you're answering a lot of phone calls and things like that,
Okay.
then not having to depend on holding your phone
Right.
to be able to answer a call is definitely beneficial.
All right, great. Dede in Maryland says offices now have printers all over, so employees are encouraged and have no option but to walk and
Exactly.
pick up what they printed.
Exactly.
Movement is key.
Exactly.
Thanks,
exactly.
Dede. Right?
And sometimes you may even decide to have one central printer, so everybody needs to move around.
There's movement.
Yes, to get to that printer.
Okie dokie. Late comer says here, I'm an Uber driver and drive long hours and I get back pains. How do I solve that?
Yes. So last week we talked about that a little bit. So if you're an Uber driver, you can get one of those cushion chairs, cushion pillows, and then you can put it in the curve of your lower back.
Okay.
And that would help you to sit upright. We always recommend that for drivers, at least every hour and a half to two, you stop. So I can see how for a bus driver or an Uber driver, you may be driving all day from point A to point B without getting down. But I'll strongly recommend that after every hour and a half to 2 hours, you actually stop your vehicle, get out of the car, walk around for some 5 minutes, make sure you have good blood flow. Because sometimes after sitting for so long, your body even tells you that it's time to move, you realize that your legs get numb,
Right.
or you start experiencing some tingling sensations. So those are signs that it's time for you to move around.
Okie dokie.
Yes.
What about those weird positions that, sorry, excuse me, commercial drivers like? The window is half up, the driver's seat is low, and then they have their elbow out there. I don't know what kind of crutchy style is that is, but all these weird postures that they take, couldn't that be also, contributory?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. So you need to make sure that when you sit behind your steering wheel and you extend your arms,
Right.
the steering wheel is about arm's length
Right.
away from you, and not longer than that.
Okay.
Because if it's longer than that, then it means that you are sitting way back and using a very weird posture to reach that steering wheel.
And you are hurting yourself.
And you're hurting yourself. It may look really cool
Huh.
and fashionable, but you're putting a lot of stress on your spine.
Okay.
And then, like you said, putting one hand somewhere and looking cool. You may be looking cool, but you're hurting your spine. So I wouldn't recommend that.
Okie dokie. We're almost out of time, but let me ask you this: if I'm working in or at a workplace, right, where I don't see any sign or evidence of any of these things being taken in consideration, nobody's changing anything. What we came to meet is what is there, and nothing is happening. What should I do? And also, if you can add to the response. Should workers be routinely assessed to see if they are having any of these musculoskeletal problems,
Yes.
even if the furniture is good and the situation is good?
So we strongly recommend that everybody should have a spinal evaluation at least once a year.
Okay.
Just as you're doing your medical checkups once a year, in the same vein, you should check your spine for any spinal injuries or spinal issues, especially if you are a worker who is either sitting for hours, or maybe you're a manufacturer, you have a lot of repetitive activity that you do, then it's very important that at least once a year you check to make sure that everything is still in place.
So you bring in the appropriate professionals to come and do that check?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, where we'll look at Nova Wellness Center, we'll look at posture. We do posture screens, so that can tell us whether you're out of posture or out of alignment.
Okay.
And then we also check range of motion. How well is your body moving? Sometimes we look at X-rays if it's
Okay.
necessary. So all these things will give us a good idea of what's happening in the spine.
Okay, great. And so these should be done on a routine basis?
Yes, at least once a year.
Okay.
At least.
Just a quick one in from Eche in Hacho. He's a carpenter. He stands for long periods. Can that cause back pain?
Yes, so carpenters, plumbers, masons, I see some at my clinic, and yes, their activity as well. Apart from standing, you realize that they're doing, putting their bodies in so many different positions
Okay.
to get their work done. So yes, that can cause back pain.
All right. All right. All too soon, we're out of time. And I think you say bye-bye to us with your number and then the location
Sure.
again.
All right. So Nova Wellness Center is at Ringway Estates, very close to Country Kitchen. And you can reach us at 026 995 2077.
Okay.
And Nova Wellness Center is also on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
So yeah, you can reach out to us and we'll see how best to help you out.
All right. Great stuff, Miss Dr. Na Ashele Dodo of Nova Wellness Center. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing your Mother's
you.
Day with us. And I love the posture of your daughters. Wow.
They're getting very tired. I
They
can
have
see.
been trained. Yeah, I could see, but they did very well. Many thanks for sharing the information with us.
Thank you,
I hand
Nortey.
over-
I just want to say a very happy Mother's Day to my mom, Naino Hui Kwamin. Love you lots. My mother-in-law, Mrs. Dodo, and then also to all my female and women patients at Nova Wellness Center. Love
Okay.
you lots, and
Great.
thank you for everything.
Okay, there's a gentleman coming up and he fixes Sunday afternoons. He's the Mr. Fix It. Sunday Rhythms with Belay up next. My name is Nortey by nature. I'm out of here.